It is 6:15 in Douala. Thanks and welcome to join me. I'm Kijan Henry Atebe for the news headlines. Cameroonian students protest in Morocco as government fails to comply with its own counterpart of scholarship funds, and as the disillusioned students wailed from the top of the Atlas Mountains, the government blames payment delays on administrative bottlenecks and students' inability to respond on time. Frustration in the southwest region of Cameroon following the abandonment of the Kumba-Ikondotiti-Mundemba road axis. The road project that flagged off in 2022 is far from taking off, with the population trapped in the whirlpool of bad roads. With the approach of the rainy season, we ask, what is the undertone of the Prime Minister's message to the people during his recent visit to the southwest region? And in less than 24 hours, Muslim faithful will commemorate the Feast of Sacrifice. From our studios in Douala, the 6:15 news comes up with anchorman Kijan Henry Atebe Show. You can check out with us on our respective platforms on Canada International. We begin from the Atlas Mountain, where over 100 Cameroonian scholarship students are stranded in Morocco. They are broke, desperate, and unhelped. And so these scholarships, worth 900,000 CFA francs annually, have gone unpaid and leaving the students to fend for themselves. Now, after months of silence and protest, they have raised this issue through a distress call back home. Beatrice Gabo with the details.
Student expedition turned into a nightmare as the annual scholarship of 900,000 CFA francs per year promised by the state for them in Morocco arrives in drips and drabs. Others who arrived in 2022 have not received a single franc. Living abroad without resources, the weight of hardship crushing their hopes and dreams.
With hope and determination, we came here to pursue our studies and proudly represent our nation. But today, we Cameroonian scholarship students here in Morocco are living under extreme hardship because our scholarships are not being paid by the Ministry of Higher Education.
After numerous unsuccessful individual and collective petitions submitted to the Cameroonian embassy in Morocco, they staged a strike. This to raise awareness about their precarious living conditions. From healthcare access, which is a nightmare, to housing, living far from their families, even eating has become a luxury for these Cameroonian students.
And our situation are becoming more vulnerable because we are not requesting for luxury. We are just asking our rights. We just need to live in dignity. We need to represent our country with dignity. In
the scholarship deal, Cameroon, through the Ministry of Higher Education, says they buy flight tickets to and fro for the students, while the government of Morocco offer free studies, restoration, transport, sick insurance, and others. And what the government was supposed to add, a scholarship supplement. The students, in the beginning of each year, are supposed to send the school certificate, indication they are following studies.
Les étudiants n'envoient pas souvent à temps.
The students don't send on time, and when they do so, the Ministry of Higher Education takes the engagement, after which the financial documents are sent to the Ministry of Finance for payment in the bank accounts of the students.
Compte bancaire de ces étudiants.
as all students were asked to have a bank account, which should be active. But here again,
au moment des virements de ces fonds par le ministère des Finances, parfois,
during the payment by Finance Ministry, if the account is not active, nothing gets in. This is one obstacle. Another can be that the Ministry of Finance, with many charges, cannot do so on time. But even if it takes long, the student will have their scholarship supplement.
Mais même si ça met long, les étudiants auront leur complément de bourse.
Either the wait is too long or have been too long, or the students, like parents, are not playing their own role. But what is important is for the government of Cameroon to investigate and reach out to these students on scholarship in Morocco.
Thanks very much, Beatrice Ingamo. And Hope for Gold has turned into horror in Betare Oya, where abandoned and keeping mining pits have claimed yet more lives, and this time children. And awards left by Chinese operators, the pits have become open graves for the population. Gladys Ambo, the Bana reports on that tragedy. We were expecting Gladys's report on the tragedy that occurred in Betare Oya, where abandoned and keeping mining pits have claimed lives, particularly those of children. And of course, we have information that these pits were left by Chinese operators, and they have become open graves. Gladys. Seemingly, Gladys's report will be coming up soon, but then we have this brief where 4 homes and a pregnant woman, and over 300,000 francs in savings have gone in flames after a blistering fire ripped through the Bois de Senche neighborhood in Douala. We are expecting the report from our reporter, Cynthia Latu. Well, we're certainly having some problems with machines. What began in 2022 has now ended in frustration, and thus the long-awaited Kumba-Ekondo Titi Mundemba road axis, once relaunched in 2024, has been abandoned again. This has sparked outrage from the population of that part of the country, who say they are cut off from the other parts of the region. Details with our Southwest Chief Correspondent, Ines Ondwabala.
This is the road linking Meme and Dian divisions of the Southwest region. Construction work on the 60-kilometer stretch of Kumba-Ekondo Titi Road, relaunched last February 2024, has been abandoned. The Kumba-Ekondo Titi Road project, which is very strategic in the economic development of the Southwest region, remains a shadow of itself. The population of Kumba and Ekondo Titi have expressed fear following the suspension of the project by the contractor, given that it can be a threat to their security. The abandoned Kumba-Ekondo Titi Road construction site now gives room to illicit activities and might become a refuge for armed separatist fighters group. The people of Kumba and Ekondo Titi impartially await the end of the construction project. It is worth noting that upon completion, the project will boost the Southwest economy, step up development, alleviate poverty for the well-being of the population.
Thanks very much, Ines Ondwabala, as our Southwest Chief Correspondent. They may be young, but their mission is mighty. Armed with creativity and commitment, school children in Douala are turning plastics into what is known as a powerful statement for environmental change. Now, our reporter Ambo Gladys Dibang now caught up with some of these children during the World Environment Day.
Armed with plastic bottles in hand and other stuffed in bags, students in Douala are taking real steps in the fight against plastic waste. It is part of a practical session designed to reinforce lessons learned on how to reuse, recycle and repurpose plastics.
Qu'est-ce qu'on peut pour combattre la pollution plastique?
On peut les recycler.
From transforming bottles into paving blocks to crafting useful household items, these young people are proving that knowledge, when applied, can become a force for change. With the right support, children are rising to the challenge, one bottle at a time. The initiative, supported by the Ministries of Education and Environment alongside environmental enterprises, aims to build a generation that not only understands the damage caused by plastics, but is determined to stop it.
We decided to start with the children because if you have to come out with a particular practice, you have to start with the younger generations because they are the ones that will represent us in future. We're talking about sustainable development. So we thought that if we start with the schools, the primary schools or the secondary schools, they'll be able to grow up with that action, that civil action that they need to protect the environment, and that concerns all of us.
Plastic pollution accounts for around 10% of global waste, choking marine life and polluting land ecosystems.
And over in Yaoundé, Mimboman Don Bosco neighborhood, fear rates, every passing trailer, steep roads and poor safety measures, as well as overloading of trucks, has turned that once good roads into a danger zone. And so the people are living with fear as accidents keep piling up. Haisincha now revisits that road has been a death trap to the population.
Don Bosco Mimboman Yaoundé, a death trap, not because the stretch is bad, but the steep slope is notorious for recurrent accidents caused by heavy-duty trucks. Any instance of brakes failure with these heavy engines result in catastrophic outcomes, damaging small vehicles, killing people and leaving others in critical conditions at this road junction.
Ils vont toujours perdre le frein. C'est toujours pour ça qu'on a toujours les situations comme ça.
Il y a eu beaucoup de blessés. Il y a aussi un papa qui a eu sa jambe qui a été broyée. Il y a eu au moins 30 à 35 voitures qui étaient impliquées.
A situation that has left the inhabitants in fear, especially those living near the road, with individuals taking various precautionary measures.
Nous vivons avec la peur dans le ventre, car à tout moment un camion peut descendre et venir nous percuter.
Chacun a mis les dodanes, les fûts. Tu charges le fût avec le béton, parce que tu sais que ça va retenir quand même le camion qui va descendre pour ancrer chez toi.
Some months ago, Demfundi's senior divisional officer banned the circulation of heavy-duty trucks on this stretch, but the decision was short-lived. The population is now proposing a better alternative to the government to curb these repeated accidents.
Dévier les camions pour qu'ils ne passent plus sur la colline.
La meilleure solution, c'est d'arranger la route de la Chapelle. C'est une route plate. Ça mène, la route qui mène au fait comme la route de la Chapelle. Si on a arrangé la route là, c'est qu'on ne devait pas avoir les situations qu'on vit tous les jours là.
Et il faut seulement suspendre les camions parce que la majorité des accidents de la colline de Don Bosco aussi sont les camions.
A similar picture unfolds on the path linking Esumba and Biteng, with accidents recorded on a weekly basis. The situation is even worse on the Mesasi-Nyom road, where motorcycles, cars, tractors and trailers frequently tumble day and night, claiming the lives of many victims.
And we move back to Betare Oya, where the hunt for gold actually turned into horror, where abandoned and gaping pits have become or have been claiming lives, yet this time with children. And are once left by the Chinese operators, the pits have become open graves for the population. Ambo Gladys Dibang now reports on that tragedy.
The pursuit of gold has come at a grave cost in Betare Oya in the east region of Cameroon. Mining operations, many carried out by foreign companies, have transformed this once quiet region into a hazardous terrain. The open pits, left abandoned and unprotected, are now scattered across farmlands and even dangerously close to homes.
Look, right here they dug up to the wall of our house. It's dangerous. Just walking around here can kill you. These holes are death traps.
These warnings came too late for one family. This amateur footage shows the bodies of 3 victims, a woman and 2 13-year-old girls, pulled from a field pit earlier this week. The incident has plunged the community into mourning.
We are dealing with the case of the Chinese holes. I keep losing my people in these holes. We are begging on our leaders to close the pits. Our lives are at stake. We are calling on our local leaders to do something because our strength lies on them.
They say they have issued repeated warnings to mining companies and local authorities, but the pleas they claim have largely gone unanswered. Chinese mining firms operating in the area have yet to publicly respond to the latest tragedy. As the community grieves and buries its dead, their demands are growing louder: accountability, safety, and an end to what they call silent killings.
Very unfortunate there. Thanks very much, Ambo Gladys Debang. And with Tabaski just hours away, the sheep markets have turned into business hotspots where buyers haggled, of course, over the best rams. Small-scale business people are cashing in, selling ropes, knives, and, of course, offering their brokerage services to this festive flurry. Our reporter, Ate Bonaventure, went visiting the Mashowi Tiem in Yaoundé, and, of course, to take the purse of this feast.
It is a booming business day for traders and service providers at the Mashowi Tiem sheep market on the eve of the Feast of Sacrifice. The sale of daggers and knives for the immolation sacrifice is gaining steam, while petty traders make available ropes for the tying of the ram after purchase.
On va la coder ici à 1000 francs, à 2000, ça dépense. Par jour, je gagne même 4000, 5000, 10 000, ça dépense. Mais hier, j'ai vendu au moins 30 000.
Middlemen have also been around to facilitate the sales process and make some extra cash.
On prend les moutons de 100 000, on vend à 120 000, 130 000, ça dépend au niveau des marchés, au niveau des clients. Parfois on prend des moutons de 50 000, on vend 75 000, 70 000.
At this modern abattoir, laborers are available and ready to receive animals for cleaning or slaughtering.
And yeah, this is the abattoir where the slaughter, they do the burning and the cleaning. So regularly it's 2,500, but they usually take at times 2,000. Environment is very, very neat, very clean as compared to others.
The service providers are upbeat that their targets will be met so that they can also satisfy their own needs for the feast.
And of course, we have similar rush as the scramble in Douala is sending people helter-skelter in groceries and other markets. Sherifa Saleh goes down the city of Douala to grapple with what the last-minute preparations are.
Markets in Douala will be packed this Thursday as Muslim families scramble to complete last-minute shopping ahead of Tabaski, also known as Eid al-Adha, one of the most significant holidays in the Islamic calendar. From fresh produce to spices and beef meat, shoppers moved quickly through crowded stalls, taking off items for the upcoming feast.
J'ai déjà acheté mon mouton et la chèvre. J'ai dérogé la chèvre pour aujourd'hui. Le mouton, ça sera demain.
But what stood out this year was the number of men seen with women in the markets, a rare scene, particularly during peak shopping hours.
La dame ne peut pas faire tout. On est venu au niveau de pommes de terre et la viande, on achète.
For many, the Tabaski feast is not only a religious obligation, but a time for family gatherings, sharing food, and community spirit. Butcher stalls record demand for beef meat. Despite concerns over rising prices, the slow economy, the festive spirit remains high.
Well, thanks very much, Sherfa Saleh, Randy Cuttings, for this edition of the 6:15 with me, Kejang Henry Atembe. Thanking you for being there with us. Matthew Frangwa will be coming up in the brief with the debrief, the L'Actualité Sportive. And from all of us, wish you a wonderful feast of the Tabaski. Goodbye.